already. I know. I'm glad God ran his tail. We gonna start with when it's his week over here. It's okay.
Good evening, everyone. This is a conference meeting of the City Council of the City of Orange Township held in Council Chambers, City Hall, 29 North Day Street, Orange, New Jersey, on Tuesday, March 4th, 2025 at 7 p.m. Roll call. Councilmember Coley.
Present.
Councilmember Eason.
Here.
Councilmember Hilbert is absent. Councilmember Montague III.
Present.
Councilmember Ross.
Here.
Councilmember Summers Johnson is absent. And Council President Wooten.
Here.
Also present is Joyce Lanier, the City Clerk, Tamara Robinson, the Deputy City Clerk, Chris Hartwick, the Business Administrator, Derek Brown, the Fire Chief, is here. Niall Clements, the CFO, is here. Gracia R. Montillis is here. Marlon G. Towns is here, the Legislative Research Officer. Vincent Vidiello is not here. And Trish Scipio, City Clerk's Office. We're going to have a moment of silence. Council President?
Could we take a moment of silence for someone that was totally strong with the NAACP? She's Trisha's mentor, and Trish, do you want to announce her name?
Dr. Hazel Nell Dukes.
Did y'all hear that? Dr. Dukes passed, so could we just take a moment of silence for her?
Thank you. Please be apprised anyone wishing to discuss agenda or general items shall sign their name on the comment sign-up sheet and will be allowed to a maximum of 5 minutes to interact with the council. The requirements of NJSA 10:4-9 et seq. The Sunshine Law has been met. A notice of this meeting was sent to the Star Ledger, published in the record transcript on July 11, 2024, posted on the bulletin board in City Hall, the council's website, the city's website, and filed in the office of the city clerk. Council President.
For matters of discussion, we have a video from our health officer, Vincent D. Filippo.
I'd like to thank the council president and the council members for inviting me to the meeting. There's some questions I know you've asked. People asked about COVID. COVID is still out there with us. We've been very fortunate that COVID's been very low, except for the long-term care facilities. And believe it or not, we're about that. The rest must have been over 100 cases. Influenza's been up. People that are over 65 in emergency rooms. We have the H5N1 bird flu. We've been very fortunate. There's been about 70 human cases and 1 death of the bird flu. The Department of Agriculture actually destroyed 160 million chickens and about 12,000 birds. And 2 weeks ago, the Bronx Zoo in New York destroyed 15 birds. And 2 weeks ago, the Department of Agriculture made all the chicken markets in New Jersey and around our area closed down for a week to clean and sanitize their location and also check their livestock. TB cases in Essex County, we have 60 TB cases and 11 active cases of TB. Measles, believe it or not, we have 3 in New Jersey. And as of yesterday, we had 1 in New York and 1 in Pennsylvania that just came out. And also attended our airport in Newark. We had a couple of vaccine clinics here in Orange at 254 Lincoln Avenue, our field house. And in January and February, we vaccinated over 100 kids there alone. That's kids that weren't never vaccinated. All the people that had measles 99% of them were people that weren't vaccinated at all. If you want to come to our clinic and you want to get vaccinated, you got to pre-register. The number is 973-877-8456. That's through the county. They come to our town once a month at the field house, and it is free between the ages of 5 and 18. Also, Legionnaire's disease. Unfortunately, we do have a few cases in Orange of Legionnaire disease. Unfortunately, we have a couple cases of Ebola, not in Orange, but it is out there, not in the United States. But it started as of February 5th. And there are a couple of monkeypox cases, again, not in Essex County, but there are out there. And if there's any additional questions you'd like me to answer, just inform the council people, and I'll try to get back to you as soon as I can. Thank you. I'd like to thank the council president and the council members for inviting me to the meeting. There's some questions I know you've asked. People asked about COVID. COVID is still out there with us. We've been very fortunate that COVID's been very low, except for the long-term care facilities. And believe it or not, there was last year was over 100 deaths.
Thank you. It's like watching a short on, right? You watch it and then it plays and then it repeats itself and plays again. Thank you so much, Shap. I do want to let you know that each one of the council members sent their questions to the health officer for him to answer the questions and kind of give us a summary of what's going on in Orange. And I just want to say thank you to the council members who submitted those questions for the health officer. I want to add to matters of discussion a quick presentation from the Orange Board of Education, Ms. Faith Alcantara, Mr. Levinson, and Ms. Whitley, please.
Good evening, Council President Wooten, Council Vice President Eason, and all members of the Orange City Council. I am Faith Alcantara. I am joined by Mr. Mark Levinson and Ms. Dallas Whitley. We, along with members of our district book club, if you can please stand, those members that are here tonight that are part of our district book club, so we can recognize them. We host a district book club in the city of Orange, the Orange Board of Education, and we read 2 books this year. The second book that we read was called The Radium Girls. I'd like to present a copy to Council President in a moment, but Radium Girls is the true story of courageous women that happened right here in Orange, New Jersey. And so my colleagues, Ms. Whitley, myself, and Mr. Levinson, just want to bring a little knowledge to the City Council tonight around this true story, talk to you about the power of these young women that are exemplified in this story, and inform you about the justice that they won that we now reap the benefits of today. So I'd like Ms. Whitley to start, followed by me, and then concluding with Mr. Levinson, and then I'll wrap it up. Ms. Whitley.
Thank you. Good evening, everyone.
Good evening.
Good evening.
I go by Dallas Whitley, also Dallas the Science Diva, a personality that embodies my curiosity and desire to pause for a moment of science. So I thank you for this opportunity to pause for a moment of science on behalf of the Radium Girls. Pausing for a moment of science is something that Marie Curie did in the late 1800s. She was a scientist, a true science diva, in my opinion, who discovered a radioactive element that occurs naturally in our Earth called radium. Radium rays. Radium that comes from another element called uranium. She discovered this element, and unfortunately, the knowledge that it took for her to discover it did not take her as far as understanding its effects. But I want to talk to you a little bit about radium in the terms of this word called energy. And when you hear the word energy, I would like you to think about the way you use the word energy as I describe the way scientists describe energy. Energy is described as the ability to create change. Oftentimes, it's also described as the ability to do work. But what's amazing about energy is that it changes forms. Most scientists agree that there is a law that says that energy cannot be created and it cannot be destroyed, but that it changes forms. These are some forms of energy. Energy can be moving energy or energy that's stored. You may have heard of thermal energy, the energy that we describe when particles move, heat. Maybe mechanical energy, the energy of motion. Electricity, a very popular energy that describes the movement of electrical particles in a wire. Magnetic energy, an energy that can push or pull. Maybe you've heard of chemical energy, the food that we eat, energy that is stored up. Elastic energy, energy that comes from objects when they are stretched. Gravitational energy, an energy that can be stored when objects are lifted above the earth. And then nuclear energy, energy that comes from the nucleus of an atom. And that's what Marie Curie discovered. She discovered that the nucleus of an atom actually can break down. And when that happens, when the nucleus of an atom breaks down, it gives off very strong energy particles. One of the interesting things about the discovery of radium is as it broke down, or as it was radioactive, it glowed. Think of the things that glow that we are attracted to, right? And back in the day, I'll say that many people were very attracted to this glowing mystery element. And they used it at first to try to cure cancer, but then they used it in clocks because it glowed in the dark. It was magnificent, it was very attractive, but it did a lot of things that we were not aware of at the time. Radium happens to be a part of a group of elements that we call the alkaline earth metals, like calcium. And if you think about our bodies, radium, when it gets into our bodies, it likes to stick to calcium because radium and calcium are very similar in the way they are arranged. And so there was a point in time that we did not understand, but our understanding became more clear, unfortunately, through the lives of the radium girls. These girls used this particular radium-infused paint, and that was ingested into their bloodstream and then attached to their bones, because that's what radium does. It's an energy, it's an example of energy that changes forms. And so today, I stand here before you excited, one, to pause for a moment of science, but also to bring home the point that when we talk about energy, changing forms, and the fact that it will not be created or destroyed, just like the story of Radium Girls, I just would like to ask you to pause, not just for a moment of science, but for a moment of humanity as we continue to learn about this radium through the story of the Radium Girls, and that we never erase this story. Because it's always a spot for us to learn. So I leave you with one statement and one statement alone: never stop learning.
Thank you.
Thank you.
The United States Radium Corporation was located right here in Orange on the corner of High and Alden Street in the North Ward. It produced luminous watches made by young women who at the time believed this profession to be glamorous. The glow they had from the radium they used was the envy of all, unbeknownst to them, the dangers that lie within. Eventually, many of the women became ill with devastating results, to include the loss of their teeth, the loss of jawbone, difficulty walking, which resulted from bone deterioration taking place within areas of their body, anemia, and more. The owners of the Radium Corporation knew that there were hazards to the work these young women were engaged in, hiding the results of scientific studies from them, as production and profit were more important than the health and welfare of their workforce, particularly with the women. These Orange women used a lip pointing technique, dipping the paintbrush in their mouth, then in the radium-based paint, before painting the numbers on the dials of the watches. While the men on the first floor of the plant were protected with protective equipment, the women working upstairs painting the dials were provided no protection. One by one, over time, women became ill, eventually dying. Women wondered if their employment contributed to their co-worker and their friend's death. Their suspicions were right, but never revealed by the company. Even with the results demonstrating that radium was dangerous to their health, the company failed to inform and protect their workers. At this time in our history, in the 1920s, women did not have many rights and followed the guidance provided to them. After all, their work supported the war efforts of World War I and World War II, provided good pay at that time, and helped them to take care of their families. As their health worsened, one brave woman amongst these Orange women decided enough was enough and filed suit against the company, Marguerite Carlo, an Orange resident. From her suit, it was determined that radium was dangerous, but the company was not at fault, and limitations to the law and diagnoses that were covered at the time did not include anything related to radium poisoning. The women sued for compensation due to their work causing their illness, and their families struggled to attend to their medical needs and costs. One by one, women, friends, succumbed to this illness. Marguerite, who filed the first lawsuit. Sarah, just 35 years old at the time she died. Hazel Vincent Kuser, just 25 years old at the time of her death. Molly Maggia, whose body was exhumed from Rosedale Cemetery and assisted in providing the evidence to the lawsuit that these women filed. Catherine Sharp, Albina Maggia Lavis, Grace Fryer, Quinta McDonald, and Edna Bowles Hosman, all Orange, New Jersey residents, were the next bold group of women to file suit and successfully won their settlement for compensation. The women were paid a lump sum and limited additional compensation over time, with requirements for regular examination by a group of doctors representing the company as well as their private physician. The company's goal was to eventually stop paying this compensation once the women were better, but they didn't get better because this diagnosis was fatal. It simply chose a different time for each one of its victims. Their battle, right here in the judicial system of North New Jersey, laid the foundation to assist other women hundreds of miles away from them to secure their eventual justice, from which we will all now benefit from today.
Good evening.
Good evening.
So you've just heard about the science behind radium exposure, and then you've heard about the unimaginable suffering that these women suffered. And I want to talk now about why their sacrifice was not
Please
in vain.
state your name for the record.
I'm sorry. Mark Levinson. I'm the K-12 Social Studies Supervisor at Orange Public Schools. So you've heard about the unimaginable suffering these women have endured and the science behind radiant exposure, and I want to talk to you about why their sacrifice was not in vain and why honoring them isn't just about the past, but about the countless lives that their actions saved because of this lawsuit that they brought forth. The Radium Girls were not just victims. They were pioneers in justice. Their fight for recognition and accountability led to workplace protections that all of us take for granted today. Because of the Orange residents that Ms. Alcantara mentioned, along with hundreds of area women from towns like Newark and Irvington, because of their sacrifice and what happened to them when they were working at the Radium Luminous Materials Corporation, workers can hold employers accountable today for unsafe conditions. Because of these women, companies can no longer ignore science at the expense of human life. But their impact goes beyond labor laws. Their case forced industries, including the US government, to take radiation exposure seriously. The Manhattan Project, which developed the atomic bomb, implemented safety protocols that likely spared thousands of scientists from radiation poisoning. Their suffering laid the groundwork for modern radiation safety in medicine, nuclear energy, and even the consumer protections that prevent dangerous substances from making their way into everyday products. Without their courage, workplace protections like OSHA, which protects millions of workers today from hazardous conditions, might not exist. Their case became the model for later workplace hazard issues like asbestos, lead poisoning, and modern chemical safety laws. Without the fight of Orange residents, we might not have the strict radiation exposure limits that keep medical professionals like radiologists, nuclear workers, and even astronauts safe today. Their sacrifice shaped history, and history should remember them. Remembering them is more than just a tribute, it's an acknowledgement that their suffering led to real justice, and that their courage still saves lives today. We're here to help ensure that their legacy is not forgotten. Thank you.
And so with that, Council President, Council Vice President, and members of the council, we humbly come before you with a request. The packet that I gave you is a copy of the book that we read, and those that are here with us today just represent a small group of the 25 members from the city of Orange. whether we are staff with the district or community residents. We read this book together. On the flip side of this page, you will see three images. The first two images is a memorial that was established in Ottawa, Illinois, for the radium girls there that lost their lives due to the unsafe health conditions that they experienced in the radium plant that was located in Ottawa, Illinois. The sign here is a memorial to the radium girls that lost their lives in Connecticut as they were working for the Waterbury Clock Company. But there is no memorial here in Orange, New Jersey, and the story of the radium girls began here. Last but not least, attached to this is a resolution where the State Senate resolved on June 24th, 2021, memorializing the contributions of the radium girls here in the state of New Jersey, because they recognized that this story was one that was important to be told and to memorialize. So with all that we have brought to you today, we humbly request that a memorial is placed on the corner of Hyatt and Alden Street, which will signify the location of where this plant formerly was housed, and not as a reminder of the Superfund site that resulted from this corporation being located there, but as a testament and a memorial to the women that worked in that plant, that sacrificed at that time, and who brought justice not only for themselves, but for the women in Ottawa and in Connecticut, and for all of us here today, because we are safer because of them. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Alcantara. Thank you.
Council members, are there any resolutions and ordinances on tonight's agenda that you wish to discuss at this time?
Yeah. Madam Clerk, Council President, 1/17/2025. I would like to have that, when we get to the part of the agenda, I would like to have that pulled for a separate vote.
What number was that?
117.
1/17/2025.
Okay.
Anyone else?
Council President,
Councilwoman Easton.
based on the financial meeting, 3/2025 and 9/2025. Well, 3/2025, we want to keep it postponed. 9/2025, we would like to postpone. Help me, guys, was that the only three? And you are pulling, am I correct? 118 through 121.
121.
121.
Yes, ma'am.
You're pulling those.
So you said you would like to postpone 9/2025.
Right.
And what were the other ones?
Well, 3/2025 was already postponed. We want to keep it postponed.
Okay.
There's some documents that we're waiting for
Okay.
so that we can move those forward.
Okay. All right. Thank you. Anyone else?
And that was 118, you said 118 through what?
I thought we weren't pulling 118.
118 through 121.
Council President, point of order. I thought we weren't pulling 118 per the email that was sent out by the law department.
Do you want to speak to the email
I can. At the, now or?
now?
Okay, so my understanding with respect to 1/18/2025 is that there was some concern by the governing body whether or not there was a conflict that would prevent this resolution from going forward, and there was some information that was requested or needed or wanted from the governing body. So we did send out an email earlier today from the Law Department explaining that we do not believe that a conflict exists with respect to this resolution and the attorney being recommended for the appointment to the Zoning Board of Adjustment for the period of January 1, 2025 through December 31, 2025.
So, City Attorney Montanez?
Yes.
So when you look at the zoning board resolution, it contradicts itself because it says February 24, 2024, then the resolution is 1/2025. So is that just a mistake?
Where are you reading from, Council President?
The zoning board resolution, which is page 2. Up at the top.
Where it says dated February 24, 2024?
Right.
Yeah, so I
So
would,
did we just not?
I would submit that as a typo, as an error. It should more likely read February 24, 2025.
And did the email, I didn't read the email, I'm sorry, but did the email go into detail why it's not a conflict?
It did, and I was trying to actually pull it up. I was actually trying to pull it up on my phone, and I'm not able to. I could.
Council President,
Council Vice President Easton?
I guess we had some discussion. My recommendation is that we leave it pulled until we do more research, because I was doing, today, years ago, when we had this issue, I don't know how it came about, we were told that the zoning board should have its own attorney, so should planning. So I'm gonna suggest tonight, because we are unsure, and I understand what the law department is saying, that we pull it until we get more information, because there is some case law out there that said there is a conflict, and I think we just need to revisit it more.
So, Council President, if I may.
City Attorney Montanez?
So I'm not sure what other information would actually be necessary or be gleaned from additional time. We did research the issue, and we looked at the case law, and based upon our research, we concluded that, and based upon the questions that we received from the council, given the concerns, we concluded that there is in fact not a conflict.
Council President, understanding our city attorney, my suggestion is still that we pull it until we can resolve what is clear in our minds. I understand that he's giving his linear pages, so we're sure. Because if something happens between both boards and you got the same attorney, he can't address both of them. I mean, he can't legally represent both of them on the same case. So I'm just saying, until we get more information, I would suggest a week or the first week, the next meeting is not that far away, so he can give us like at least a week to explore some other things.
So, Council Vice President Easton, who are we gonna get this other information from if we're not gonna take the advice of the law department?
Well, also, I think we need to.
And I ask that respectfully.
I don't want to go on record, but let's just, that's my suggestion. You guys can vote it, do whatever you want.
Well,
That was
Council
just my
President,
suggestion.
Councilman Ross?
I haven't had the opportunity, or I haven't seen an email from our attorney, regarding, his statement as to that there's no conflict. So I would say that we keep it postponed until, I don't know if the rest of you guys seen it. Have you guys seen the email?
No, I did not.
You?
No, we haven't seen anything.
Can we have it printed?
Yeah.
Can we just have it?
What is
I'll
the
go downstairs and
urgency of passing this tonight?
Right. Attorney Montanez.
So let me just read into the record the recommendation by the Deputy City Attorney, Aaron Mizrahi, who did in fact research this issue.
Council President, point of order. I understand, we have a city attorney that we pay, and I don't think we need to get here tonight and debate an issue that we're concerned about. He had ample time to get back to us when he found out there was a conflict, and that didn't happen. So I'm suggesting that we just postpone it for tonight, and then we can get all of his arguments later and bring it back the next meeting.
Council
Council Vi-
President,
Why don't we take a
Councilman-
vote?
Councilman
Why don't we
Ross?
take a vote?
again, and I ask our city attorney, what is the urgency? Why do we have to pass this tonight?
I'm not sure, I don't have any, I do not have in front of me any urgent piece of information that would need to be acted upon by the zoning board, so I'm not able to say, well, if we don't have an attorney in place tomorrow, then certain issues may go unresolved. I'm not prepared to state that. But what I am prepared to state is that when we did put out the RFQ for this appointment, there was only one response. And so I'm not sure that if we don't act on that, what would that do to the process in terms of having to start over, A? B, there was only one response. And C, the conflict was in fact cleared up by the law department. So when you have one response to a legally published RFQ, and the conflict is in fact, there's a legal opinion with respect to the conflict or lack thereof, I'm not sure why there isn't a move forward as opposed to waiting for a question mark. I'm not sure what that question mark is at this point.
Any other-
When is the next zoning board meeting? Do anybody know?
So I believe the zoning board secretary is here, so she may be able to shed some light on that.
It's March 24th.
And our next council meeting?
March 18th.
So we have until March 18th, which is our next council meeting, to review what you wrote and to come up with a conclusion, prior to the next zoning board meeting. So I don't see why, we all say that we didn't see your statement, as to whether it's a conflict or not. So why can't we wait until our next meeting, which is before the zoning board meeting?
So, Council President, again, the governing body can do what it wishes, obviously. As I stated earlier, I'm not sure what pressing issues lie before the zoning board that they would need an attorney in place prior to their next meeting. I don't know the answer to that question. So to the extent that the governing body feels comfortable in moving forward, given the information that it's received tonight, which I've provided, then it's the will of the body. But I can't speak to what issues are pressing or pertinent that may go unanswered if this body does not act tonight with the information that it has in front of it right now.
Anyone else having another question? This question might be for the CFO. So whenever you put out an RFQ or RFP, is there a time limit upon which you have to act upon whoever accepted the bid or whoever got
Yes,
the highest
ma'am.
bid? Or
60 days. After 60 days, it's dead.
so when was this RFQ? When was it answered?
That's a great question, because looking at the resolution, it says that the RFQ was issued on August 30th, 2024.
So it should be dead anyway, right?
Yeah, I don't see us advertising for more than a month. You see that, Gross?
So
The resolution.
we don't pull it. No. So it's dead. Okay. All right. So I think, we're going to vote on it, but I think the suggestion may be that it's dead because it was done in August 2024. So it's going to be pulled and have to be brought back up and I guess have to be re-advertised. Anyone else about anything else? No one else? Madam Clerk? You have a motion to close?
It's a motion to close the conference.
Motion Coley.
Second, Montague.
Motion to close the conference by Councilmember Coley, second by Councilmember Montague the third. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Conference is closed at 7:34 p.m. This is a regular meeting of the City Council of the City of Orange Township held in Council Chambers, City Hall, 29 North Day Street, Orange, New Jersey, on Tuesday, March 4th, 2025, following the conference meeting. Please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance.
Could I ask that Councilman Coley lead us in the pledge, please?
Sure. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Amen.
Roll call. Councilmember Coley.
Present.
Councilmember Eason.
Present.
Councilmember Hilbert is absent. Councilmember Montague III.
Present.
Councilmember Ross.
Here.
Councilmember Summers Johnson is absent. And Council President Wooten.
Here.
Also present is Joyce Lanier, the City Clerk, Tamara Robinson, the Deputy City Clerk, Chris Hart with the Business Administrator, Niall Clements, the CFO, Gracias R. Montillas, the City Attorney.
Gracia.
Oh, Gracia, you know, I'm sorry. I always do that. Gracia. Marlon G. Towns, Legislative Research Office. Vincent Vitiello,
I think he's in the hall.
he's in the hallway. Okay. Trish Scipio, the City Clerk's Office. The requirements of NJSA 10:4-9 et sec, the Sunshine Law, has been met. A notice of this meeting was sent to the Star Ledger and published in the record transcript on July 11, 2024, posted on the bulletin board in City Hall, the council's website, the city's website, and filed in the office of the city clerk. Meeting minutes, February 18th, 2025 conference meeting. Councilwoman Summers Johnson is not present, so is there a motion to adopt?
Motion to adopt, Ross. Second, Montague.
Motion to adopt by Councilmember Ross, second by Councilmember Montague the third. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? February 18th, 2025 regular meeting minutes. Motion to adopt.
Motion. Second, Ross.
Motion by Councilmember Montague the third, second by Councilmember Ross. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Pass. Reports. There's no monthly revenue collection reports. Oprah reports, there are none. Council President?
Council reports, I think Council Vice President already reported on the Finance Committee. Council colleague is not here to talk about the library and everything else that's been turned in. Yes, ma'am? Okay, that's it.
That's it? Okay. Communications and petitions, there are none. Citizen comments. Members of the public wishing to address the council may do so during this portion of the meeting. Speakers must sign their names on the comment sign-up sheet and approach the microphone when called upon. To allow maximum public involvement, each speaker is permitted 1 5-minute period to interact with the council and must provide his or her name and street address prior to beginning any remarks. Visual aids are not permitted. Speakers are reminded to be courteous and mindful of other individuals. Each person has the right to speak on any subject, but is responsible for the abuse of that right. The city bears no liability for any comments made by the public and maintains discretion to remove any person engaging in obscene or disruptive conduct. The council will conduct all comments and questions and will respond if and when appropriate, which may or may not be during tonight's meeting.
Faith Alcantara.
Good evening again. I signed in thinking that's what I had to do in order to do the presentation.
Okay.
May I defer to someone, otherwise I'll ask the question. I cannot. Okay,
has to
no
be the
problem.
person
So
that
I'm
signed in.
going to ask the question. We made a presentation to the city council, and we would like to know what would be the next steps, if any, to have a vote on whether or not a street sign memorializing the Radium Girls could be an eventuality based on the presentation we provided.
So that would have to go through the normal process of a street naming. So it would have to be presented to the council from a council member. I think with 3 council members, and then there has to be petitions. And what I can do tomorrow is send you the entire workup of what has to be done. And also, in addition to that, we can get you in contact with the Historic Preservation Committee, because they may be able to do a placard or something too. So I can send you the code as to what those steps are.
Great,
For them.
thank you.
Thank you. Mark Levinson.
Same question.
Thank you. Aisha Samuel.
Aisha Samuel, 401 Highland Terrace in Orange. I just really have like 2 questions. My first question is what's going on with the parking commission, administration, whatever you want to call it. I know that a couple of resumes have been submitted, but when is it going to be voted on?
So I don't think we've received a lot of resumes, but I'll defer to the VA.
We've only received 3 resumes to date, so we're undertaking a recruitment effort.
Jesus.
That's all we can do. We have to have 7 commissioners.
Okay. Damn. I done forgot my other question.
No, sorry.
Yeah, I can't even remember it now. Oh, yeah. So instead of employees of the city having cars, why aren't they leasing cars or even allowing them to use their own cars to go around and do stuff that they need to do? Because the maintenance on the cars, when you look at the numbers, it's super expensive. I don't know where you guys are going to get the cars fixed, but you can take them down to Pep Boys and it would be a lot cheaper.
Okay. Mr. BA.
That's it.
Thank you, Ms. Samuel. Mr. CFO, now any? Okay. I think this is Nina Eldebaja. Adebaja, I'm sorry.
It's okay. Nina Adebajo, 433 Lincoln Avenue. This is pertaining to Ordinance 3-2025. I put this request in May of 2024 for a handicap parking spot. Granted, it was denied because I live in an apartment building and there is another handicap space, but it's been a year almost. And, I understand there's a process, but at this point, it's, I know Councilwoman Easton said that there are additional documents. My question to you is there anything needed for me? Because I'm on it. Like, I call, department of, whatever department I have to call at least every week to follow up on this since May of last year. So is there anything that's needed for me to expedite this process? Because it's really hard. Parking is horrible. I'm a cancer patient. When I get home from chemo, I don't want to walk up Mountain View, and it's just hard. So,
Yeah, we'll have Director Mays get in touch with you tomorrow.
Okay.
So he can tell you what the additional documents we need
okay,
to put it through.
okay,
All right?
all right, will do. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Thank you. Ms. Sarah Howe.
Hi, good evening, Council. My name is Sarah Howe, Howe, and I work at 47 Cleveland. So I'm speaking to you today on behalf of some neighbors and some friends with regards to the resolution 131-2025, which is a grant funding application for remedial action. So this is a statement re the proposed remediation at Metcalf Park. Volunteers and residents around Metcalf Park are in need of information surrounding the proposed remediation efforts and the discovery of lead and/or other contaminants found. The questions we have are as follows. 1, what area of the park is impacted? 2, what measures were or will be made to notify residents? Will all residents be notified? 3, when will remediation efforts be undertaken? 4, if the proposed grant is not funded, what is the backup plan to find funds to do the remediation work? And this is, thank you on behalf of Friends of Metcalf Park volunteers.
Thank you. Mr. B.A.
Sure. So, first of all, as you know, the resolution is for procuring the grant. We rushed the resolution because we were in contact with the state, and there is funding available, but we needed to get the application in very quickly, and there's been an indication that we will get the money if we get it in quickly. I don't know that I can have it any closer than I have it. You're not going to eat it. The area in which the remediation, first of all, it's lead contamination. It's from historic fill. The area that the lead contamination is impacts the large baseball field and an area over by the pumping station. It's a smaller area by the pumping station. With respect to notification, a letter is being prepared. Whether that goes out to the whole city, I doubt. It'll probably go out to the limited area around the valley. And the mayor intends to walk that letter door to door. And he'll start doing that either tomorrow or Thursday. So the resolution got a little bit ahead of the notification process simply because we needed to get it in as quickly as possible. Right now, the alternative, if we do not get the grants, is that the city will have to pay for the remediation unless we can find another funding source. But the park has to be remediated.
And do we have any idea when that might be?
We're going to start as soon as possible. I'll defer to Mr. Mays for a better date.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Ms. Howe. D. Whitley? No. Okay. S. Sawyer? Okay. I can't read this name.
Mr. Livingston.
Mr. Livingston?
Nice to be here in America where you can speak your truth and there's freedom of speech and it can't be impeded on. How y'all doing today?
Good.
State your name and address, please.
I'm going to speak my name, but I won't speak my address. I won't be giving you guys my address. My name is Devin Livingston. A lot of you guys know me as Mr. Livingston.
Per our city ordinance, sir, you have to give your address.
I won't be giving my address only because the business administrator impeded on my right of privacy. He understands what I mean.
So I don't know what that means, but you have to give your address in accordance to our ordinance, or you're not be able to speak, sir.
Sunshine law states that I don't have to give my address, sir.
Our ordinance states that you do, and the Sunshine Law does not have anything to do with that.
Are you sure? Is
Oh,
this
I'm
on the
very
is this on record?
It is.
Okay.
Everything
my
that's being
address
said
is
is on
190
record.
Oxford Street. Remember, you said what's your name, gentlemen?
Gracia Robert Montillis.
Oh, you said sunshine law doesn't equate to my address.
I'm saying that you have to give your address. Please move on, sir.
Okay,
Your
so-
time is running.
Okay, my time is running. You're impeding on my time. By the way.
I'm not.
Okay, I'm here because I haven't been here for a while, but I'm here just to give you guys some light of the town. Really, the residents. Really, I'm here because some people know me. I have been impeded on my rights as city council meetings. I've been kicked out multiple times. I actually filed multiple court complaints, and I just wanted the city to be aware of the court complaints I filed. One against Mr. Coley for threatening me with a gun on his hip. One for Ms. Trish Sipico. She actually had me in court for false allegations. I actually represented myself, got those dismissed, and I will be I did file court complaints against her, a couple of officers as well, and also Mr. Chris Hartwatt for sending Orange police to my home in another town. Also, I have never received my OPA requests stemming from 2022, 2023, 2024. I never got an email saying what's going on with them. As you know, I've been up here solely for those OPA requests. I also was told by the law department that my OPA request is bullshit, and I got an email.
Sir, we will not use that type of language in this open forum. No.
We
We will not use that type of language in this open forum, or you will be directed to sit down.
I'm speaking what the law department said to me. I didn't use that language. That was spoken to me, and I just want to say that on record. So that was spoken to me. I gave the business administrator a recording of that, and I filed a complaint. No complaints were returned to me. Nobody emailed me back on those complaints. I actually was retaliated on against. I filed court complaints on official misconduct, harassment, crime pattern on official misconduct, conduct, retaliation for past official action, bias, intimidation, liability for conduct of another, complicity, finding declaration of relative to deprive of civil rights, false imprisonment, liability for cooperating and persons acting under the duty to act in their behalf, liability for conduct of another, and also plenty others. I just want to make the city aware that I will be after these.
So direct your comments to the council, please.
I'm also speaking to the city because this is a city council, not just the council, it's the people as well.
But you can direct your comments to the governing body.
So what I'm saying is, these are going in. Some are being seen currently by the Attorney General. Some are seen by the Hudson County Prosecutor's Office currently. I'm in works with the Attorney General's office to see if these indictments will be arrestable. I will also be filing a 1983 civil rights lawsuit against you guys. I tried to work with you guys. I filed multiple complaints, and nothing has coming back. I have videos of you guys threatening me, you guys closing down City Hall records. And also, I got a video of Ms. Trish Scorpio saying to an officer, don't worry, you don't have to give me I'll just talk to the chief. No due process. So I just want to bring to the light what's going to go on. You haven't seen me for a while because I am in the works of filing litigation against the city and persons individually. If any individual wants to know what's going on, I have copies of the complaints, and if you want to talk to me in person, or if you don't want to talk to me, I'm here to help.
Mr. Livingston, one more time, direct your comments to the council.
I'm done.
Then sit down, sir.
You are not a slave master, sir. You cannot impede on my right to speak. You are not a slave master.
Sir, sit down.
Are you a slave master? Can you tell me what to do?
One last time, sir, sit down.
You are not a slave master, sir. Please don't touch me. I don't gotta go. I'm gonna sit down. No. Why do I gotta go? Why do I have to leave?
You can sit.
Hold on. What I'm gonna say on record, if you ask me to leave, I will file a civil lawsuit against you. I'm gonna sit down. I'm gonna sit back down. Yeah, you can't tell me to leave. Crazy.
Is there anybody else? No.
That's it.
I'm Stephen Kamad, maybe?
Hi, good evening.
Good evening.
First of all, I just want to thank
State your name and address, please, for the
Steve
record.
Conwitz, 48 Edgewood Avenue, West Orange, New Jersey. There's one sign on the corner of Scotland and Maine, and I'm not going to stop till I get it done, fixed or repaired or whatever, but it's facing the White Castle instead of the bank behind me. So I made this complaint as of November 27th, and still nothing is done. I've called everybody, so I just hate to see someone get hit. I got hit in the crosswalk about 2 months ago by Taco Bell, and you know, I fractured my vertebrae. The other thing is, there's a lot of potholes in the crosswalks and in the sidewalk. I mean, these things could just be fixed and repaired, but I'm telling you, it's pretty dangerous a little. Now, the other thing is, I've been staying on 112 Main Street. I had an ulcer on my cornea. I was living in a camper, couldn't go out in the sun. And the name of the company was Fanta. Now, that company name they changed it, so I don't know what it is now, but the person that I talked to, he's the one that took care of it and he helped me. He says, Steve, I don't even know what it is anymore. But the site on South Main Street and Prince Street is under what corporation name? I don't know. The guy's been knocking down the buildings, the houses, no water, no suits. There are lead paint, there's asbestos, there's styrofoam, when you take a tree trunk, it has methane gas. This guy, M&M Construction, he must be getting paid by the hour or by the day, I don't know what, but he's doing stuff here, and he's doing stuff here. And finally, I went and talked to someone here about it, saying, you know, that's, you know, it's not right. But the thing is, you need the tarp to cover the area and water. He's not used no water, no nothing. So now the site, does anybody know that the site is contaminated? Anyone know that? Okay, well, I did, because I met the EPA guy on a Sunday, and then I met the guy who was gonna clean up the mess. And it's, you know, I know about this stuff. I used to restore old buildings. I like the old buildings. I wish you wouldn't knock down the gingerbread house. I want to make it a welcome center. But, you know, if you want that big 7-foot concrete building, you know, well, then you have the right. But I have two neighbors. One is 2 twins, and the other is 1st and 3rd grade and a little girl. They run around there. This guy's taking Freon air conditioners, refrigerators. That can't go in the groundwater, you know. So I should be with these guys over here. But I want to tell you, the paint landed up in Montclair on Harrison Street.
He needs a face.
So I remember that as a kid. So, you know, I'm like Safety Steve. You know, I got a few things with my eye, and it's getting better. But so that's all I wanted to say. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Kamal. Director Mays, did you get all of that? Got it? Okay. That's it.
Can I get a motion to close citizen comments? What's your name?
It's marked through. No, it was marked through when I got it. Somebody scratched through it. It's 3 names that are scratched through. I'm not gonna argue with you. Excuse me?
I should probably mention the other 3 too. Maybe they didn't cross out their names.
Okay, well, I'll try, but I mean, you don't have to take that tone.
I don't think I had
Okay.
a tone, but okay.
Ms. Rodriguez?
Hi guys, I'm Alicia, 487 Mountain View. So I have a few questions. Based off actually what Aisha said earlier, how many cars do we have leased or do we own? Does anybody know?
You just asked all your questions.
Oh, okay. Reason being, we only have a 2-mile radius city, and I was just thinking, repair cars, gas, maintenance, leasing fees, insurance, it's a lot of money. And, you guys are constantly telling us we can't find ways to cut down, and I just figure people don't need cars. People have their own cars, unless it's like police, obviously. I was looking through the bill, and I wanted to know, is this salaries that you guys are paying, is this monthly, is it quarterly, is it weekly, is it, I was confused. And when I saw it, I also saw that there's $54,000 in overtime for the police department. And that doesn't make sense to me either. So anybody could explain, again, If they're quarterly, yearly, what salaries are we paying right now? And then who's responsible for the budget? Who makes the budget, who goes over it, and who approves it? For the resolution 125/2025, you guys are transferring funds from places where we didn't use them for healthcare. If I'm not mistaken, healthcare is already, you guys sign a contract, it's done. So why do we need an additional $101,000 that we didn't need anywhere else so we could possibly save the city? Why are we putting it back into the healthcare? Let's see, what else? A lot of you guys weren't at the hospital meeting. Some of you were, some spoke to some of you guys. And a very important thing that the guy said was that we don't have a say in what goes on in that hospital site. They only want our opinion on to what kind of stores they can open. And the guy, Terrence, said it very clearly. And I'm pretty sure that violates everything that's the whole point of the city hall meeting, of the meeting, is to make sure that we're having the conversations and the input of the people so that we can make sure whatever goes there makes sense and to us. So I'm confused as to why I was told that our input really is just, it doesn't make sense. If you guys can clarify that. What else? I'm a little upset. You know, I don't know this Devon Livingston, but you guys should, like, any little thing that you guys feel triggered, you guys attack us, and I don't think that's fair. I was kind of upset that the gentleman over there turned around to say something one time and nobody attacked him. But the one that said things that nobody liked to hear, you guys were very aggressive towards. So, and then even I came up here, I don't have anything against anyone here, and the first thing you said, I said something with a tone. You don't know me. You don't know my tone. So
Okay.
that's disappointing. So if you can just maybe answer some of those questions.
So when you answer the question about the development, so I've explained this like several times. The council, we do not approve development, right?
I know that.
It's approved at the planning board, right? So we just deal with the financial aspect of it. And I think people get that mixed up because they come to the council meetings and they say you guys or y'all or you, and it's not us that approves the development. So where people probably could go to talk about what they like and dislike when it comes to development is to the planning board hearings. Because once it passes the planning board, the council, we can't do anything to unpass that piece of legislation. You understand? We can't. And if you feel that I offended you,
It's okay.
I'll apologize, but the names are crossed through. I have 3 names crossed through.
And I only asked if you could please mention the other ones just in case somebody crossed theirs off too.
And I will. I will.
Appreciate that.
But I just wanted to get that piece about the planning board because a lot of times we are attacked about the planning board and what was approved, and that's not fair to us as council members. And I also want to say that the council members, we are here to do the business of the city. So a lot of your questions that you come up and ask the council can be answered by the administration, the business administrator, and people say, well, why don't y'all answer them? The business administrator handles the day-to-day operations of the city, so he's going to have those questions for you, or
That's
the
great, just
or the
because I only have 20
CFO.
seconds left.
Ma'am, let
no,
Council
no,
President
listen.
answer, that's all.
sorry.
She was just cutting you off. I'm just let her answer your question, please.
Okay.
That's it.
So I do want to say, just make sure that you send those questions in an email to the administration.
Yeah, but
Okay.
I also want you guys to take, you're here, you work for us and for the people, and if we don't understand something and we ask you. It shouldn't be like something that is annoying. We don't know, we're not educated in these things.
But-
That's why we, come here to find out. Thank you.
Do you want your questions answered?
No.
Who said that?
Who said that?
Who said that?
Sorry, misunderstood.
Oh,
I thought you were done, sorry.
no, I didn't say anything. With respect to leased/owned vehicles, the city owns part of their fleet, mostly major dump trucks, plow trucks, specialized trucks in DPW. We lease in DPW 4 pickup trucks because they get a lot of use, and we turn them over within 3 to 5 years under the lease. If the history had been that if we purchased those trucks, we would work them, and then the maintenance costs would go through the roof. or they would stop working. And plus, we'd be buying them with bond proceeds and paying for them in excess of 5 years when they wouldn't be able to be used after that. So that was one of the analysis that went into doing the leasing program. The vast majority of the leased vehicles, approximately 70 of them, are police vehicles. The only non-police vehicles are the mayor's vehicle, my vehicle, and 4 code enforcement vehicles. And vehicles are assigned to people who are 24-hour employees. So that's why certain people have vehicles.
And Chris, if I may piggyback off of that, for liability purposes, these individuals would not be able to use their own vehicles.
That makes sense. I mean, yeah.
Right.
They have to drive everywhere. So,
Correct.
and the question about the salaries.
So the payroll that you see on the bill list is by payroll period, which is usually 2 weeks. And it's 2 weeks of an annualized salary.
What does that mean? Sorry.
It means that you're getting 1/26th view of what the annual salary is on the bill list.
Okay. Sorry, that doesn't make sense to me, but okay. Like, so what, those salaries that we're paying now covers how many months? Sorry, I don't know the terms of what you guys are referring to. Technically, like if you had to,
The salaries that are in the budget are the annual salaries.
for the whole year.
Correct. And then you asked about the budget preparation
Yes.
and about the health care. Dealing with the health care first, health care is paid on a per claims basis, so at the end of the year, there may be more claims that come through that have to be paid, and there's oftentimes those claims will exceed because it's on a per claim basis. We estimate the claims based on prior years. So if the claims go up, then the cost goes up. And in terms of the budget, the budget is initially prepared by the administration in conjunction with department heads, and it's presented to the council. The council then has hearings on the budget and ultimately strikes the budget and the levy for the town.
So everyone here has to say in the budget, in other words.
Yes.
Okay. Thank you.
All right. So there are 2 people who names were scratched through. So is it Jamila Rawls?
Yes, President, thank you. I was with this group.
Okay. And I think is Gara? You with the group? Okay. All right. That's it.
Is there a motion to close citizen comments?
No.
Motion to close citizen comments?
Motion to close citizen comments.
Second. Motion by Councilmember Ross, second by Councilmember Eason. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Council comments.
Council Vice President Eason. Councilman Coley.
I did have something to say, but, where are my notes? Give me 1 second, Council President. First of all, I just want to say, Women's History Month, all the women that are here and make our city, make our state, country great. Thank you. And is it Miss Dallas, is it? I wish we had teachers like you when I was in Orange High School. My science teacher, I had several of them, but one I remember, Zach White, he was okay. We had a few other ones, they was okay, you know, but most of them back then, I think they were just there just because they had to be. And I see that you have a lot of passion, and I learned a lot listening to you. And I just want to say, you know, thank you for that presentation, and thank you for enlightening me about the book. I had no idea that the book existed. Thank you for the presentation. And there was something else. I lost my note here. I lost my note. There was something I had to say, but I'm leaving right there before I mess up, Council President. I'll leave right there, thank you.
Sure, okay. Councilman Ross?
Thank you, Council President. Before I start, I just want to backtrack a little bit on Ms. Rodriguez when she came up here and she was talking about the hospital site and maybe development. We all, this council always gets attacked, you know, well, why did you guys approve the hospital site plans? Why did you approve the new development on this street or this corner? We do not approve that, okay? I just want to make it clear that that's not the council. And as our council president eloquently said, that's the planning board, okay? So you need to go to the planning board meetings and find out what's going, what they're planning, and then have your say-so there. This is not the forum. We don't do that, okay? I'm surprised just as much as you guys sometimes as a new development is placed on this corner or that corner. And so, you know, go to the planning board. That's where it all starts. Okay, so I want to continue and say happy Ramadan to all my Muslim friends. And I want to say tomorrow's Ash Wednesday. Happy Lenten season to all my Catholic friends. The month of March is Women's History, a month when we honor the strength, achievements, and contributions of women who have shaped history and continue to inspire future generations. And you know what they say, behind every great man is what?
A woman.
Woman.
A great woman or a better woman. You know, take your pick. But okay, Mr. B.A., as you know, we're working towards the parking authority, okay? And I see we got new meters, we got remodeled meters on Main Street. We got the kiosks in the public parking spaces, garages. I asked, and we talked about this many times, we have no meters from Glenwood Avenue to Park Place. Okay, this is like over 50 parking spaces, okay, which can generate a lot of money for us that we need. What is the plan? When will we have meters on Main Street from Glenwood to Park?
So we got a quote for the meters within the last month. I don't have the quote in front of me, but I think it was around $80,000 to do all the meters on Glenwood. And it is something that we're addressing in the budget to see if we can either put it in as a capital appropriation from capital surplus. Otherwise, we would have to do it as a bond ordinance. Unless we paid for it out of operating funds, and as you know, there's not much room in the operating budget.
Okay. Thank you. And I think I spoke to you today, but I just want to put this out there because I saw this. The New Jersey Municipal Grant Administration is hosting a seminar on Zoom Thursday, March the 27th at 10 a.m. regarding grants, okay? And I suggest or recommend that you, CFO, maybe one of us, go to this Zoom meeting and find out what grants are available to us. And I think we should do that and apply as soon as possible because grants will be drying up real soon with this new administration that we have.
So we have 2 people from the administration attending the seminar.
Okay, who would that be?
Wendy Sykes and myself.
Great. And starting May the 7th, a real ID will be required to fly within the United States if you normally use your driver's license versus a passport. So please, if you don't have a passport and you use your driver's license to get on a plane and fly, after May 7th, it's not gonna work. You gotta get a real ID. And I think, Council Vice President, that the DMV will be at St. Matthew's Church sometime soon?
In April?
In April?
Yes.
Do you know April when?
I think it's the 8th.
And will they do that at the mobile unit? A
They
real
always
ID?
do. But I understand. Well, I'll talk a little bit about it when I get on.
Okay. All right, and on Thursday, March the 6th, from 6:30 to 7:30, at St. Matthew's Church, there will be another town meeting regarding the hospital site. So those of you that didn't make it at the Shiloh Church, please come to St. Matthew's. Last Thursday, I attended the ribbon cutting at Cleveland Street School. It is now a state-of-the-art building, which makes learning and teaching a lot easier and fun. It's a beautiful building. For those of you that wasn't there, you missed out. But I'm sure you can go there anytime and check it out. But it's a beautiful school, it was a great event, and I was happy to be there. Finally, spring is approaching as daylight saving time begins. Turn that clock up as we begin to get longer days. And that's all I have. Thank you, Council President.
Thank you, Councilman Ross. Councilman Montague.
Good evening, everyone. So on Thursday, March 6th at 5 p.m., the City of Orange will be hosting a weekly job readiness and job placement program. I'm volunteering, I'm doing it to help our city, to help people get jobs, to help, whatever. I have professional jobs, all types of jobs. So if anybody wants to come by, I'm gonna be doing job readiness. A lot of people don't know, I've been working for New Jersey Department of Labor for the past 26 years. So I got a lot of expertise. Send your family members, send anyone that's in need. So that's gonna be on Thursday. Upper Fieldhouse, Community Room, 234 Lincoln Avenue, Orange, New Jersey. We're gonna be going over interviewing techniques, resume tips, how to keep the job once hired, workplace etiquette, how to dress for success, financial literacy, the importance of your credit score, the importance of a budget, how to save money each month, how to open a bank account, and to make a 2 and 5 year plan, okay? But I have a lot of jobs available all over this area. So feel free to send anyone between the ages of 17 and over. And this is gonna be every week going forward. Every Thursday at 5 p.m. Now tomorrow, March 6th at 10 a.m. The Orange, Thursday. Orange Housing Authority Information Expo 2025. They're gonna have utility assistance, shelter, security deposit assistance, job resources. I will be there as well. Cash assistance information, PSE&G will be there. Greater Essex Counseling Service, if anybody is in need of drug counseling, or if you know someone, we will be there tomorrow morning at 10 a.m. And the location is 97 Wilson Place. You can write that down. Orange, New Jersey, Thursday, March 6th at 10 a.m. I will see everyone there.
Can you repeat
And
the place where it's gonna be? 97 Wilson Place. Orange, New Jersey, 07050. I also attended the Cleveland Street ribbon cutting. It was wonderful. Kudos to the Board of Education. The involvement of Councilwoman Eason and everybody came together. It was a beautiful event. It was a long time coming. And I was just proud of the students, the bands, the whole program was inspiring. So, a lot of people complain about Orange, but I see a lot of good things going on in the city of Orange, and we're going to continue to move forward. So, thank you.
Thank you, Councilman Montague. Council Vice President Eason.
Yes, I have a couple of things, and I'm going to piggyback on the two council about Cleveland Street. It was my dream, and I've lived my dream, to see Cleveland Street School renovated. And if I could sing, I'd sing At Last. Remember that song, At Last?
Yes. Don't do it. Don't do it.
Don't do
Don't
it.
do it.
Don't do it. Don't do it. Don't do it.
Go ahead and sing.
It's a beautiful, beautiful building. They did a great job. The developer was really excellent. They work well with the community, and it is a beautiful school. So if you get a chance, go and take a tour. When I moved to Orange, and next door to the school, they didn't have a gym, they didn't have a cafeteria, and they didn't have any place for the kids to really eat, except the food was served in the hallways, and it was boiling hot. And we had some issues where the sink upstairs, the bathroom was linking down into where they was fixing the food. So it had a lot of issues. And finally, Cleveland has a school to be proud of. And I was so happy to see those kids come home. So happy, because in the winter, when we had them over at the Valley, I would go to work in the morning and see them standing out there in the rain, to sleep in the snow, to get on the bus to go across town, so they'd have some place for academic learning. So it is a blessing, and I just pray the Lord that I was happy and lived long enough to see it happen, and I'm just so thankful. But also I want to talk a little bit about the planning board. All of the schedules for the meetings are on the website. Am I correct? So anyone that wants to know what's happening as far as development is concerned in the city of Orange, all you have to do is look on the website for the scheduled date and time of the planning board meeting, and it's open to the public. There is a public session. So no one should come and say, I don't know what's happening in Orange. All you got to, and it's virtual. It's a virtual meeting. So you can do it virtually from your home and see what designs, what's being approved, what's being put before the planning board, and you can make your comments that night. So there's no reason for anyone to say, I don't know what's happening in the city of Orange, because it is publicized. The other thing, motor vehicle will be coming to St. Matthew Church at 336 Oakwood Avenue on April the 6th from 10 to 2. There is a flyer that will be on the website, or on the church website. You can start making appointments on March the 11th. Please do not try and make any appointment before March the 11th. And that is where you get your real ID. And everyone has to have a real ID by May 7th. Everyone should have a real ID by May 7th. But my understanding is, once you fill out the application, the driver's license, real IDs will be mailed to your house, because they're all coming out of Washington, D.C. right now. So they're not being printed locally anymore. And if you have any questions, you can always call the church. And I think that is about all I have. And thank everyone for attending tonight. And I'm just so happy. You can't steal my joy. Cleveland Street is done, and we're on our way. The street has been paved, so we are in good shape right now. Thank you, Jesus. Thank you, thank you, thank you.
Thank you, Councilman.
And I just want to say one saying, Councilman Coley talking about Women's Month. And women make men great. Great. We make you all great. So give us our kudos. Thank you.
Amen to that.
Councilman Coley, you have anything else to say?
No, I'm leaving right there. I'm just glad to be here. I don't want to start, talking about my personal situation, but sometimes I just can't help but talk about it. How the good Lord is always watching over me, and has watched over me. Some of you know, some of you don't know. January 13th, I had total knee replacement. I was just blessed to have the doctor that I have, the insurance. I prayed, my family prayed, my church prayed, that I will have a excellent experience. And I had nothing but good people and circumstances around me. I'm walking right now, don't have a cane. And I'm scheduled next month to have my left knee done. You know, so I'm just thankful that, you know, that I'm here and I'm getting the services that I need. And I always tell my, you know, black men, especially, you know, if you don't have your health, you have absolutely nothing.
That's right.
You know, I'm a prostate cancer survivor, only because shortly after I retired from the police department, my urologist said, "Kerry, you're 50 years old now. You've been coming here for the last 10 years, doing blood work, doing this, doing that. Everything is good, but I need to put a stake in the ground. I need to find out what's going on inside your body besides your blood." He said, "Everything is good, but I need to know." So he ordered up an MRI for my bladder, my prostate, and bladder came back good, prostate came back with one section that was inconclusive. And I said, "Doc, what does that mean?" He said, "I don't know what it means until I go in." And I said, "Well, what do you got to do?" He said, "I got to do a biopsy." And the biopsy revealed that I, you know, had beginning stages of prostate cancer, and we just didn't have to do a whole lot of treatment. He just asked me to change my diet, eat more vegetables, eat more nuts. That's why I eat nuts all the time. And now part of my health regimen, every 12 to 18 months, I had to get a biopsy just to stay on top of things. And I tell my brothers, you know, start building a relationship with your primary care. Your primary care is a good source as far as like networking you to good doctors. If you want to live a good and fruitful and healthy life, you have to stay on top of your health. You have to, because without your health, you have absolutely nothing. And I just want to say that I'm, you know, on that road, have been on that path for a long time. I think I spend more time at doctor's offices than I do other places. Every time the guys ask me, "Kerry, where you at?" I'm in the doctor's office. You know, if I'm not going on personal doctors, I'm going to the VA. I'm also a vet. I get the same care at the VA. These right here, my new glasses that was bound from the VA, my new reading glasses. Every 2 years, every year, I get my glasses, you know, from the VA. You have to take care of your health. And I'm gonna leave it right there, Council President.
Thank you, Councilman Coley.
Council President,
Councilman Ross.
just real quickly, to Ms. Faith Alcantara, where can we get a copy of this book? I see you gave a copy to the council president, but we all like to read up here too, so. Go why we didn't get a copy, but where can we get a copy?
Councilman Ross.
Yes.
That was my last copy. If I had additional copies, I would get them from each board and each council member here. But I will reach out to where I bought them from, Source of Knowledge, which is a black-owned bookstore in North on Broad Street, to see if I can get additional copies. But if I do, I need to know that the council will read it. And trust me, when you read the first few pages, you're not gonna be able to put it down.
Okay.
All right.
So I will reach out to the owner and ask her if I can get more copies.
Thank you, appreciate that very much.
Council President, it's
Councilman
on
Eason.
Amazon for $14.99.
What?
That's your Thursday delivery, Council
Yeah, you said to deliver it in 2 days. So you go home and order it tonight. $14.99, same book.
2 days.
It's on Amazon. Free delivery.
Move the agenda. Let's go.
Good evening. I have a couple, I'll be really quick. So a couple of weeks ago, a flyer came out about the anonymous building code hotline, and I hope each one of you got this flyer. So it's if you see any work going on in the town or any construction going on in the town, there's a hotline number that you can call. So I say that to say, Director Marty Mays, you might be able to help me with this, you might not. There is a piece of development that's being developed down the block from my house. Called about it several times. The tarp on the fence is up, and there's a tractor trailer truck parked on the property now. It looks a total mess. So I'm wondering if I can just report this to you, or do I need to call the anonymous building code hotline? So it's on Berwyn. I mean, it's on Oakwood Avenue, across the street from the school. In addition to that, I already spoke to the business administrator about a piece of property on the corner of Taylor Street and Hickory Street, where it's not being kept up. So when you see flyers like this and you see items that you think may or may not fit into this category, you still need to call and report these things. And I'll give you the telephone number quickly. It's 973-308-1771. And that is the Anonymous Building Code Hotline. I do want to say thank you so much for my copy of the Radiant Girls. You see it, you see it, Councilman Ross? I'm going to go home and start to read it, but we have so many things that have happened in the city of Orange Township that you may or may not know about, right? So there's a young lady, it may be back in the 1700s, 1800s, I can't remember what year it was, but her name was Lucy Stone. She owned a piece of property in the city of Orange Township. I think it was over in Freeway Drive near, what's that Catholic church? Right there on the corner. That's Mount Carmel. Mount Carmel. And they taxed her, and she didn't have enough money to pay for her taxes. So she filed a lawsuit, as these people did. Maybe the first lawsuit filed by a woman in the city of Orange Township, County of Essex. And her reasoning for filing the lawsuit was, she said, taxation without representation. And she filed that lawsuit, and she said that because back then, women weren't allowed to vote. So how are you going to tax me on this piece of property that I own, and you're not going to let me vote? So it's a lot of things, historical things that happen in the city of Orange Township. Just showed a movie at the Orange Public Library on Friday night about Rob Peace. He was a young man that grew up in the city of Orange Township, very smart man, very intelligent man, grew up in the East Ward where Carrie and I and I'm sorry, Councilman Coley and Councilman Montague live in East Ward. Mary J. Blige played in this movie. The movie was filmed in Orange on Chapman Street and Center Street. It's a good movie, but the book I found absolutely great, and it was the short tragic life of Robert Peace, and some of you may know the family and some of you may not know the family. So if you just dig or delve into our history in the city of Orange Township, it's there for you to read. I want to talk about Resolution 117, 2025. That's a resolution asking for support for New Jersey State Immigrant Trust Act. I won't vote for this, and I won't vote for this because this legislation has not passed the Senate, the state Senate yet. It was introduced on September 2024, and it hasn't gone to the committee, and it hasn't gone to the attorneys of the state. So I would ask my city attorney if he could send it to the attorney general, but I think we should just wait for it to play out in the state. Also, this piece of legislation is moving towards Orange becoming a sanctuary city, and we just know that a news article came out in the Times a couple of days ago saying that a particular person, if you are leaning towards a sanctuary city, they're going to possibly take your money, take your funds. So I would say sometimes we have to know when to be a Nat Turner, and you know who Nat Turner was, or we can be a Harriet Tubman. So on this one, I'll be a Harriet Tubman because I'm going to look out for all of the people versus one group of people. And then I want to talk about Ordinance 8/2025. It's a piece of legislation regarding domestic violence. My council colleagues Montague and Ross, we've met with the domestic violence company, I don't want to say company, but a facility, and we've spoken to them about domestic violence. We've got numbers from the police department regarding the state stats and regarding the stats in the city of Orange Township. So I'm going to include them on this piece of legislation, and I ask that my council colleagues support this. And what it is doing the same thing it does for sex trafficking, where it lets you know if you go into a public bathroom, there will be a flyer to let you know if you are being beaten, because that's what domestic violence is. You can contact this national hotline, or you can contact this local hotline, or you can even contact the Orange Police Department. And we are working with Access Domestic Violence Service, Councilman Montague and Councilman Ross, with the correct words to put on these flyers to be placed in our bathrooms in the city of Orange Township. And it's Women's History Month. So glad to be a black woman in this day and time. I'm not going to talk about prayer, but I just want my granddaughter, who's 19 years old, to have the same rights as I do, and I just want to do anything that I can do, and anything that a council can do, and anything that any legislators can do to ensure that our grandchildren, as I look at Councilman Ross, his granddaughter and I are about the same age, that they have the ability to become our age. So we just need to do whatever we need to do to make that necessary for them. And one of the things that we can do is vote. We have to vote. And that's it. Thank y'all so much.
Council President.
Council Vice President Eason.
I just want to backtrack on two things. The property that you're talking about on the corner of Oakwood Avenue and Berwyn was approved by the planning board on Wednesday night. So
okay,
if you need to reach out about, I'm sorry, I meant to ask about that truck, but that should be under development pretty soon.
Okay.
But if you need to find out who the developer is, talk to Giselle.
Okay.
And she can give you a contact number.
Okay.
So all of that stuff should be going pretty soon.
Okay.
I guess they're probably gonna come before us for a pallet, but
Okay.
that property has a new developer and they're moving forward with it.
Okay.
All right?
All right.
And also, I just want to talk about domestic violence. St. Matthew's hosted a domestic violence seminar on Saturday. Access presented. And we had a lot of presenters. And I think one of the number one killers of police officers is domestic violence. But the only downside of it is, and giving out the number, we got to make sure somebody answers that hotline number. That's the biggest problem I have with the state of New Jersey. Nobody answers the numbers. In fact, I texted the governor last week because I couldn't get a hold of somebody, and he gave me the information I needed. But the thing about it is, it has to have some resources put behind domestic violence, which we don't have today. I mean, we can promote it, we can get involved with it, but if we don't have an option for those women or some alternative
Or men
to going home or wherever they are and they're experiencing this, all of it's for naught, because we need to figure out a way to give them an option or someplace to go if they need protection. And we all know, and the police are here, the restraining orders don't work. They get you killed quicker than not having one. So we need to just work on some of those things.
Okay. Thank you, Council Vice President. Madam Clerk.
Council President.
No, sir.
We have to talk this week. And, you know.
Thank you.
I
Thank
just called and told you how to go for
All right, thank you.
Ordinance. Second reading, public hearing. 3-2025, an ordinance to amend the code of the City of Orange Township, Chapter 200, entitled Vehicles and Traffic, Section 200-52-1, handicap parking spaces, 433 Lincoln Avenue. The recommendation is for it to be postponed to April 1st. Is there a motion?
Motion to postpone.
Second, Montague.
Motion to postpone by Councilmember Ross, second by Councilmember Montague III. On that motion,
Council President,
Councilwoman Easton.
being that Marty Mays is, that director is here, why don't we tell him what we need so he can work on that tomorrow?
I'll take care of it in the morning.
You will?
Yes.
Okay.
roll call. Councilmember Coley?
Yes, to postpone.
Councilmember Eason?
Yes.
Councilmember Hilbert is absent. Councilmember Montague III?
Yes.
Councilmember Ross?
Yes.
Councilmember Summers Johnson is absent, and Council President Wooten.
Yes.
That's 5 yeas, 2 absent. The motion to postpone pass.
What's the date again? April 1st? April Fool's Day.
4-2025, an ordinance amending Chapter 188, taxi cabs, Article 1, General Regulations, Section 188-2, enforcement of provisions, taxi stand assignment, Article 4 and Article 4, driver's license, Section 188-25, taxi stands. Are there any citizens who wish to speak on this? Motion to close citizen comments.
Motion to close, Coley.
Second, Eason.
Motion to close citizen comments by Councilmember Coley, second by Councilmember Eason. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion to adopt.
Motion to adopt, Coley.
Second, Eason.
Motion to adopt by Councilmember Coley, second by Councilmember Eason. On the motion, seeing none, roll call. Councilmember Coley.
Yes.
Councilmember Eason.
Yes.
Councilmember Hilbert is absent. Councilmember Montague III.
Yes.
Councilmember Ross.
Yes.
Councilmember Summers Johnson is absent. Council President Wooten.
Yes.
That's 5 yeas, 2 absent, motion passed. Ordinance on introduction, first reading, 8-2025, an ordinance to amend the code of the City of Orange Township, Chapter 200, adding Chapter 151 entitled Domestic Violence, sponsored by Council President Wooten. Is there a motion to adopt on first?
Motion.
Second.
Motion by Councilmember Montague III, second by Councilmember Eason. On the motion?
Council President, can you make that from all council members?
Yes.
All right, thank you.
So can we change the sponsor by all council?
Mhm.
Okay, thank you.
Roll call. Roll call. Councilmember Coley.
Yes.
Councilmember Eason.
Yes.
Councilmember Hilbert is absent. Councilmember Montague III.
Yes.
Councilmember Ross.
Yes.
Councilmember Summers Johnson is absent, and Council President Wooten.
Yes.
9-2025, an ordinance to amend the code of the City of Orange Township, Chapter 200, entitled Vehicle and Traffic, Section 200-52-1, handicap parking spaces, 373 Allscott Street. The recommendation is to postpone it to
Motion
April
to
1st.
postpone.
Second, Montague.
Motion by Councilmember Eason, second by Councilmember Montague III. On the motion, seeing none, roll call. Councilmember Coley.
Yes. Yes.
Councilmember Eason.
Yes.
Councilmember Hilbert is absent. Councilmember Montague III.
Yes.
Councilmember Ross.
Yes.
Councilwoman Summers Johnson is absent. Council President Wooten.
Yes.
So this item will be postponed. Consent agenda. All items listed with an asterisk are considered to be routine by the city council and be enacted by one motion. There will be no separate discussion of these items unless a council member so requests, in which events the item will be removed from the general order of business and considered in its normal sequence. So I believe item 117 is going to be pulled for a separate vote.
Yes.
Item 118, 119, 120, and 121 will all be withdrawn.
So I think we said we were just gonna postpone 1/18/2025. Is that what we said?
Yes.
Okay,
We were
so we're
gonna-
gonna postpone 1/18/2025.
Postpone.
And then withdraw 1/19, 1/20, 1/21.
Okay.
And Councilman Ross, are we, 130, we need to insert
Yeah,
something,
130 's-
2025?
It's going to be rescinded?
130,
that say?
2025?
You, 130 want to be pulled for a separate vote? 130?
You have to insert something in there, remember?
Yeah,
Yes.
you do.
Yeah.
Let me look at that.
So we pull it?
Yes, the
It's
vote
just going
on
to
it
be pulled for a
separately.
separate
Okay.
vote, so they can amend it.
Okay.
And I believe that's it. So, now, the consent agenda consists of, correct me if I'm wrong, 122, 123, 124, 125, 126, 127, 128, 129, 131. Huh?
Not 130.
No, I didn't say, I said 131. 131, 132, 133, 134, 135, 136, 137, 138, 139, 140, 141, 142, 143, 144, and 145. Is there a motion to adopt the consent agenda?
Motion to adopt.
Second?
Second, Wooten.
Motion to adopt by Councilmember Montague the third, second by Councilmember Wooten. On the motion, seeing none, roll call. Councilmember Coley,
Yes.
Councilmember Eason,
Yes.
Councilmember Hilbert is absent, Councilmember Montague the third,
Yes.
Councilmember Ross,
Yes.
Councilmember Summers Johnson is absent, Council President Wooten.
Yes.
That's 5 yeas, 2 absent, motion passed. 117-2025, a resolution supporting the New Jersey State Immigrant Trust Act, ITA, S3674/A4987. Is there a motion?
Motion Coley.
Second, Eason.
Motion by Councilmember Coley, second by Councilmember Eason. On that motion?
On the motion, as Council President stated, this legislation was just introduced to the State Assembly. And if anyone is familiar with the state legislative process, it's 9 steps before an introduced bill becomes law. And this was just introduced. It's not even in committee. A bill could take 6 months to, several years before it gets passed. So until the state make their mind up as to what it is that they want to do, I suggest that we just vote this legislation down until the state figure out what it is that they want to do. Leave it right there. Thank you.
Anyone else? Roll call. Councilmember Coley,
No.
Councilmember Eason,
No.
Councilmember Hilbert is absent, Councilmember Montague the third,
No.
Councilmember Ross,
No.
Councilmember Summers Johnson is absent, and Council President Wooten.
No.
No, did not pass. Okay, 118-2025, a resolution authorizing a professional service agreement with Friends and Wenzel LLC to provide legal service to the City of Orange Township Zoning Board of Adjustments for a period beginning January 1st, 2025, and continuing through December 31st, 2025, in an amount not to exceed $5,000 with additional fees paid separately from an escrow account that will solely be funded by the developer pertaining to their specific project. The recommendation is to postpone this?
Yes.
Yes, okay. Is there a motion to postpone?
Motion to postpone.
Second, Wooten.
So a motion to postpone by Councilmember Montague III, second by Councilwoman Wooten. On that motion, seeing none, roll call. Councilmember Coley.
Yes, to postpone.
Councilmember Eason.
Yes to postpone.
Councilmember Hilbert is absent. Councilmember Montague III.
Yes.
Councilmember Ross.
Yes.
Councilmember Summers Johnson is absent, and Council President Wooten.
Yes.
This item will be postponed. Okay.
To our next meeting, right?
It'll be moved to the next meeting, March 18th. Okay. Resolution appointing Henry Thomas, a resident of the city of Orange Township, New Jersey, as the first alternate member of the Zoning Board of Adjustment of the city of Orange Township. This recommendation is
Can
to,
we table all of them? We pulled all of them.
we gotta.
We're gonna withdraw them.
Yeah, we're gonna withdraw all of them, right?
Well, I can read all of them into the record, and we can just withdraw them all at one time. How's
Okay.
that?
Yeah.
Okay. Resolution 120, 2025.
Why would you do that? They're just being withdrawn.
Huh?
They're just being withdrawn. You don't read them into the record, you just withdraw them.
Whatever
Just take
you
them off.
say. They're on the agenda though, so action need to be taken. But if that's what you advising me of, I'm just gonna skip it then.
Yes, please.
Okay. So, we're skipping, what, 119, 120, and 121? Okay. So 122-2025, a resolution honoring women.
No. 130.
Okay. Oh, okay. Pull for a separate vote. A resolution designating a representative as an alternative to the Essex County Community Development Block Grant Committee for the year 2025. Is there a motion? The recommendation is to rescind.
We're not
Is it-
rescinding
is it-
it.
No? They're just pulling it for a separate vote, okay. There a motion?
Move, Wooten.
Okay,
Second,
motion by
Montague.
Councilmember Wooten, second by Councilmember Montague III. On that motion,
On the motion, Marty Mays was designated by the mayor to be the representative, and we need a council member, to be a alternate. And in the finance committee meeting, I recommended Tensie Eason, but, whoever else would like to be the alternative, they can speak up now. So,
Any other council members? Should we wait for the other council members to be here? Okay. Nope. It's Councilwoman Easton's.
anyone else on the motion? Okay, roll call. Councilmember Coley,
Yes.
Councilmember Eason,
Yes.
Councilmember Hilbert is absent, Councilmember Montague III,
Yes.
Councilmember Ross.
yes.
Councilmember Summers Johnson is absent, and Council President Wooten.
Yes.
Motion passed. Okay. So, that's it, right? Okay, so there's no walk-ons, no postpones. Council members, is there anything else before I move a motion for?
Motion to
adjourn the agenda?
close.
Okay. Motion to close by Councilmember Montague III, second by Councilwoman Wooten. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay. Meeting is
night.
adjourned at 8:53 PM.